Welcome back. A week from today is Interfaith Social Services of Quincy's annual Feed the Hungry Gala, arguably their biggest fundraiser of the year. And it's almost sold out, which is good news for them. But it doesn't mean you still can't help out. So Rick Doan is here to tell us all about it. Good to see you again, Rick.
Good to see you too. Yeah, we only have a couple tickets left.
Okay.
So if people want to get them, they got to act now.
Now's the time.
Because sometime in the next couple days we'll be closing down that link to buy tickets.
All right. How many folks?
We're almost at 400. So
Super.
400 is our max. We wanted people to be comfortable in the room.
Yeah.
It's a Granite Links. They're great to work with. Really, really wonderful to work with. And we have tons of restaurants from here in Quincy throughout the South Shore that are going to be there. It's going to be a fun night.
It always is, right?
Yes.
Am I right in saying it's your biggest fundraiser?
It absolutely is
of
our
the year?
biggest
It
fundraiser.
is,
yeah, I mean, a fundraiser, an event like this,
Yeah.
it's for two reasons. One, it's an excuse to ask everybody to help out, but it's also a great way to teach people about our organization. And so we really try to do that. We're at the event, we're educating people, we're talking. QATV, you guys helped us put together a video profiling one of our clients and the struggles she's gone through. She's a mom, a single mom with 5 kids, lost her husband a couple of years ago, suffers with mental health, has needed to use our food pantry, a working mom, you know, where she is a professional, but with 5 kids, she struggles and needs to reach out periodically. And so we'll be featuring her story as part of our gala to help people understand what our clients are going through.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not just fun. It's educational.
Well, it's purposeful.
Absolutely. It's party with a purpose.
Yeah. It's right in the name. Feed the hungry.
Yeah.
It's a very simple goal, right? But it has wide-ranging impacts for families.
Well, and it's also, I mean, our food pantry at Interfaith is one of our biggest programs, but we also have our mental health counseling center, homelessness prevention program. And we say people are hungry for comfort and compassion through our counseling center, and they're hungry for housing. That's never been more true than now. The need has been crazy the last couple of years for outreach for people facing eviction.
Well, and in fact, not too long ago, you put out an urgent appeal, actually, because you saw the donations to the food pantry cut in half from your supplier, right?
Yeah, well, what was going on, so all the food pantries in Greater Boston sort of depend on a regional distribution supplier. And they had a lot of staffing problems, and so it was fluctuating where a lot of food pantries were cutting half the amount of food we could get. And it was really tough for all of the food pantries in Greater Boston. But at the same time that we were seeing that reduction in the amount of food we were getting, we also were seeing a significant increase in the number of clients that we serve.
It was the perfect storm.
It really was. But what was amazing is, you know, I recorded, sort of a little video telling people what's going on, and the response was phenomenal.
Is that right?
And it's really miraculous that when there's a need, and we're like, okay, this is an emergency, we're going to engage our support network.
Yes.
And people rallied.
That's great.
And met the need and kept us from really a difficult situation.
Has that crisis averted now?
It has. Our food weights are almost back up to 100% for all the emergency food programs. It's still around 80% or so, but we're back up to that 100%.
Okay.
And our food rescue, too, is a big part of what we do. So we're going around to a dozen different supermarkets most people know us from that. Our truck on the road, driving around, it says food rescue. And I'll see people sometimes and they go, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What are you rescuing? And it's all the day-old baked goods, it's the dairy products, it's the meat, perfectly good food that we get back out to our clients.
I guess people don't think about that, you know. No. But it's just like in your own home. If things are getting close to expiration, what do you do with them?
But it's even more than that.
Yeah.
So in a supermarket, if you go to a supermarket and you see something that is 5 days to the best buy date, or 2 days, you're going to buy the 5-day one.
Right.
And so supermarkets know that people stop buying that when it gets close to expiration.
Okay.
It's not expiration, best buy.
Okay, right.
Still perfectly good.
Yep.
So those supermarkets like Star Market and Stop and Shop and Trader Joe's and BJ's, they'll take that meat and they'll throw it in the freezer. We pick it up bring it back, give it right out to our clients.
I see.
Perfectly good food.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So you're rescuing it literally from being tossed away. Yeah.
And there's a state law around that too.
Really?
That in the state of Massachusetts, you can't dispose beyond like 1,000 pounds a week of organic matter.
Oh.
And so these supermarkets aren't just encouraged to donate, it's a legal obligation that they donate.
Okay.
And it's half of the food we distribute every year. It's 500,000 pounds.
That's amazing. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk about how much you actually distribute and
Yeah.
how many people you help. Yeah.
So we distribute about 1 million pounds of food a year.
That's astounding.
It is. And what's amazing is our truck, because if anybody's ever been to our program, I mean, a lot of our volunteers are watching right now. They're Quincy residents, and they come in every week to serve in our food pantry. And it's not a huge location because we don't need to warehouse the food. We're distributing it.
Yeah.
So as fast as it's coming in, we're getting it out to people, and then our truck is coming back, and we're unloading it, and we're getting it out to clients. The truck is loading up and coming back.
It's on demand, literally
Yeah.
on demand. Yeah.
It is, but it's the way the system needs to be.
Right.
As long as there's no disruptions like during the pandemic.
Right.
But,
Right.
beyond that, but the need has been beyond anything we've ever seen.
Beyond, even during the pandemic.
Oh, so many more households
Really?
than during the pandemic.
Really?
And this is not just us. This is throughout the entire state of Massachusetts. Food pantries are seeing upwards of 25% more people compared to last year. And last year was already a record-setting year. So, and I'll give you an example.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Our food pantry in 2015, on one day we served 85 households.
Okay.
That was our record.
Okay. That was your record.
It was our record.
It's,
where it was,
what, 8 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was right before it was that really bad winter.
Okay.
And it was right in the midst of all of those storms, and 85 households. That stood until the week before Thanksgiving.
Now, to put that in perspective, Interfaith is over 70 years old.
That's right.
Okay.
But the week before Thanksgiving, one day we served 97 households, another day we served 85 households, another day 88 households. This Monday we served 90 households.
Wow.
So the need has grown in exponentially over these past few years. So it's a little scary, but amazing that people are stepping up. More volunteers are coming in, because that's one of the things we need the most, is people in the community who can give 3 hours a week to come in and serve with us and help their neighbors in need, and the financial support to purchase the food.
Right.
And the relationships from supermarkets.
Right.
There are some supermarkets where a manager will change over and they're not committed to rescuing food.
Really?
And we can see it. We can see on our statistics the change in a management in a supermarket, because there's some managers that care more about it than others.
I see. Okay.
And they just can't be bothered.
So now I heard, different reports that big warehouses like, say, Amazon or other major distributors were kind of pulling volunteers away from places like Interfaith and food pantries because they're paying pretty decent wages.
I've heard that nationwide,
Yeah.
that there's that trend. We have not seen it.
Okay.
So we have more volunteers than ever.
That's
we have
great.
130 every week that are serving in our programs, and we are not at capacity.
Really? Okay.
We are always looking to bring in more volunteers, and our volunteers are all over. They're retired individuals.
Sure.
They're unemployed individuals. There's people who work from home. We were nervous about what working from home would do.
Then people aren't out, so they're never going to come to Interfaith, right?
Well,
Yeah.
no, it was also corporate groups where when the pandemic hit,
Sure.
all the corporate groups that used to send us volunteers stopped.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we're like, well, is this the end of this?
Right.
And what's happened is a lot of corporate groups have gone back to their hybrid.
Yes.
And employers really want to get their employees together, but they don't want to come to the office.
Okay, all right.
But they want to volunteer.
Yes.
So we've seen a surge in the number of businesses that want to bring volunteer groups in, which is a plus in all different categories.
Well, it's a good team building exercise for the companies, but obviously it benefits Interfaith at the same time.
It benefits us. It gets them into the community. It gets them seeing what's going on.
Right.
It gets visibility for those businesses too, because we will take their photo and tag them on social
Sure.
media and recognize them, because they're investing in the community.
Yep.
And those are in businesses we hope people will frequent and,
Sure.
and utilize their services.
Yeah, maybe encourage other businesses to say, hey, that might be a good idea for us as well, right?
Yeah, I think they are setting the example.
Yeah, and I know that here in Quincy, at least, high school seniors need 30 hours of community service.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity there.
Vacation weeks always book up.
Ah.
The week of Christmas, we're actually closed. Pantry
Okay.
closes, everybody gets a week off.
Okay.
After a very hectic couple
Yes,
months.
right.
But April vacation, February vacation, always book up really early.
Sure.
With a lot of students looking for those hours.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
but we don't take calls from moms.
nice. Okay.
So if a mom calls up and says they're looking to schedule volunteer service for their teenager,
Have your kid call.
we will say, please have your son or daughter call.
Okay.
We're happy to help them out. Yeah.
Hold their feet to the fire, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's part of the process
Right.
of them learning to do it. It's not just being a warm body.
Yes.
It's being invested and understanding and part of what's going on.
Sure. Feed the Hungry. Let's talk about the actual event.
Yeah.
Where, when, and what?
So it is December 8th, next Friday, at Granite Links, 6:30 p.m.
Okay.
We do not sell tickets at the door.
Okay.
So they have to be purchased ahead of time. And we put the fun in fundraising. We have several different breweries who will be there. We have local places like Pearl and Lime are going to be there. There's 10 different restaurants from throughout the South Shore.
Great.
They're going to be there doing tastings. There's Novara is going to be there. There is Almanove is going to be there. There's a lot of different places that will be doing tastings from their menu. And then we have games. Lots of games for people to play, and we have auctions, and it's really a fun time. Fuji has been a great supporter for a long time. We have a local distributor that donates oysters. That's always very popular. It's right next to the sushi.
Okay.
Fuji is there with their sushi, Fuji
Right.
Walk, and then right next to them is the
The
oysters.
seafood section.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. It's a very popular area.
I'm sure.
We put the silent auction right near there because we
very
know
good.
it's a high traffic area.
Yes. Let's talk about some of the items that'll be auctioned off.
We actually, one of the things we're most excited about, I'm not a hockey person, but I've been told this is a big deal, that we have a stick signed by last year's entire team, which includes several retired players. There's also, and there was a record-setting year for the Bruins last year. And so I've been told it's a big deal.
Neat. Okay.
Again, a little bit lost on me.
Right.
If it was a Marvel or Star Wars thing, I could tell you all about it. But we've heard from a lot of people that this is really a sought-after item.
Okay.
And what's great is you don't have to be at the event to bid on it.
Right. Yep.
So we are going to send out an email to everybody in our database the couple days before the gala, and they can bid on it.
Oh, even
So-
before it starts.
Before it starts, and
okay.
you don't even need to attend.
Okay.
So all the people in our database will get that link. So maybe there's people watching now that can't attend the gala, or that's not their thing. They can go and register on our website to get on our email list, and then we'll send them that link.
Okay, and they can bid on it.
Yeah, they can bid on those items. And actually, we started doing that the last couple of years, and a lot of the people in the room don't even end up winning it. It's people at home, and we're happy about that.
Well,
we want
right.
it to go for as much as it can go for.
Of course, yeah.
But we have sports packages, we have hotel stays, we have the Hummingbird Ranch out in wine country in California.
Oh.
It's for 6 people, 4 nights, including winery tours. It's really some neat packages.
Very good. All right.
Yeah.
And is music part of the
We have
festivities?
a live band.
Okay.
They are for local musicians that come together and do this for us, and they're really a great band.
Fun.
Yeah, it's
All
going to be
right.
fun. And then, trying to think, we also have some giveaways. So just being there.
Okay. A door prize.
Well, sorta.
Sorta.
A little bit. You got to donate to get it.
Okay.
But most people, one of the fun games we do is called our Blinky Light game.
Okay.
And if you buy a Blinky Light, you're in it, and it's heads or tails, and we flip a coin. So everybody with a Blinky Light stands up,
Yep.
and they have to put their hands on their head or their tail.
Okay.
And we flip a coin,
And
and we narrow it down,
Yep.
and the winner gets a $500 gift card.
oh, that's neat.
So it's fun
Okay.
because everybody's participating in it.
Right.
It's a really fun thing.
And it's really kind of like a formal affair, right? Folks get really dressed
Oh, for
up,
sure.
and I know the restaurants put on their very best. And
It's a cocktail formal.
okay.
That's the
Yeah.
that's the term for attire. So
Right.
not formal tuxedos. It's cocktail formal.
Okay. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's an event.
It is.
Yeah.
And for us, it's our most important night of the year.
Right.
We spend all year planning for it. We have 60 volunteers who will be there helping to run it. And it is where it's a third of our funding comes from that event.
How much is that, Rick?
We're anticipating raising about $500,000, $400,000 to $500,000.
Okay.
So it's a really important night for us.
Absolutely is,
Yeah.
And it has repressions throughout the winter, right? I mean, this is really how you
it's what sustains
subsist.
us. But you know, these kinds of people, it's a party with a purpose. And the people who will be there are learning about our programs, but we know it's not for everybody. And that's why we have our 5K in the spring. And we have the opportunity to talk about mental illness, and that's probably the next time we'll get together to talk about that.
If not sooner, sure.
But, you know, I want to make sure that people know during this time that if they're struggling with mental health, that they should reach out for help. That there are many resources here in Quincy to help people who need help, and that they shouldn't suffer in silence, and that mental illness is not a character flaw.
You've said that every time you're here.
Well, it's a drum that I'm going to beat forever.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of people who don't reach out for help because they're afraid of how it might look or how others might perceive it. But especially this time of year, there's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of joy, but there's also a lot of sadness, and we want people to reach out for help.
Okay. All right, they should do that. I know that you have the New Directions Counseling Center.
We do, but here in Quincy, I mean, we have our counseling center, but there's Bay State, there's Aspire, there's Maria Drost. You know, we're in a community with a wealth of resources.
It's true.
And we don't want any families to have tragedies.
Sure.
Yeah.
What do you need right now in terms of donations?
You know, the one thing I'll say is diapers.
Oh, really?
Diapers sizes 5 and 6.
Okay.
Kids go through 1 through 4 pretty quickly.
Yep.
But they stay in 5 and 6 for a while.
Okay.
And then incontinence products. We serve a lot of seniors, and they need those incontinence products.
Okay.
And then pads and tampons for women. These are all items that are necessities.
Yeah.
That aren't covered by any federal assistance programs.
Okay. All right.
And
they're expensive?
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Okay.
The other thing is books, kids' books.
Ah.
We encourage everybody's got them at home, you know, or they pick them up, or they, you know, bring them into us, and our food pantry gets those books out to the kids we serve in our food pantry.
Okay.
Last year we gave out 15,000 books.
That's
to
incredible.
the food pantry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. Do you find folks that you have served in the past come back to volunteer, Rick?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially now we're seeing people that haven't been to the pantry in 3, 4, 5 years coming back.
Having to come back.
And we see people who, you know, they come when it's a crisis.
Is it the cost of living that you're seeing?
It's a lot of
the
reasons.
most impactful? Yeah.
It's cost of living, it's housing,
Yep.
it's inflation. There were federal programs that were cut back. There were Medicare that you know, cut a lot of people back after they did recertifications. So there's no one silver bullet that's causing all this. Like during the pandemic, it was easy to say this is the thing that's causing the need.
People were out of work, so
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's just a lot of different things right now.
Okay.
And it's not the migrant community. A lot of people have asked that question.
Yeah.
We are not seeing that community come in. That's not the demand we're seeing. It's long-term residents of our region that need help.
Okay, so it could be your neighbor.
Absolutely. It is our neighbors.
Sure. If you can't get tickets to Feed the Hungry, you can still donate, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Donate. Come to our thrift shop. Our thrift shop is decked out with all the holiday stuff right now.
Okay.
We have great sales. Our thrift shop, after the gala, is one of our biggest fundraisers.
Are you adorned in thrift
Today,
shop?
my pants,
Yes.
my shirt,
Yeah.
my shoes. I love the Bureau Drawer thrift shop.
Okay.
I'm one of the best customers. But we really have great stuff that's donated by the community here in Quincy, coming in. We're selling it, and it's supporting the community here in Quincy. It's a perfect, you know, circle of life.
Yes, that's great. All over social media, I know you are, right?
Everywhere. Instagram,
Yep.
Facebook, YouTube, you name it, we're there.
Okay, and you have a special website just for the gala.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. To highlight our sponsors,
Yep.
to let people know about the great businesses that are supporting us. Because, like I said, we hope that people will support them.
Right. Anything else we should let folks know about?
Everybody who comes to the gala gets some Purefections goodies on the way out the door.
Okay.
Love Purefections. They're fantastic.
Satisfy your sweet tooth.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Rick. Always good to talk to you.
Great to talk to you, too. Happy holidays.
Same to you, and I hope you have a fantastic turnout again this year.
Us, too.